Welcome to the Deep Dive. We sort through stacks of sources to pull out the key insights you need. Today, we're looking into Lord Balarama, Lord Krishna's elder brother, and his very first expansion. Really fascinating figure.
Absolutely. And our goal here is to unpack the stories, the philosophy about him from these sources we've got. We want to explore who he is, his role as the original spiritual guide, and how his actions, his pastimes can actually show you a path to, inner strength and devotion.
Okay, so starting right at the beginning, who is Lord Balarama? What's the absolute core thing we need to understand?
The most fundamental point is that he's a direct expansion of Lord Krishna. Not different, really. He shares all the same opulence, the same power, beauty. The main difference you'd notice is complexion. Krishna's dark blue, Balarama's white. But it's the same divine essence, just showing up slightly differently for specific divine activities or lilas.
Right, so identical but distinct. That already tells you he's incredibly significant. And how does this play out on, like, a cosmic level? The sources mention Sankarsana and Ananta.
Yes, exactly. So as Sankarsana, he's the primary expansion. He's the one holding everything together, all the universes. It's even suggested subtly in the sources that this power relates to, well, the material law of gravity, the force holding planets and stars in place.
Wow.
And he also has this role in universal destruction fire coming from his mouth at the end of time. Then there's Namantasesa,
Yeah.
the infinite serpent. He acts as the Lord's couch, umbrella, throne,
Yeah.
basically facilitating Krishna's comfort and pleasure, always serving.
It's kind of mind-blowing, that scale of power constantly in a mood of service. How do his historical appearances show this?
Oh, his different incarnations really highlight this. In Treta Yuga, he came as Laxman, Lord Rama's younger brother. Laxman was just a perfect servant, always anticipating Rama's needs, willing to go through anything. There's even a story, our sources mention it, where Sita Devi felt anxious because Laxman was serving Rama so perfectly, she felt she had nothing left to do herself.
That's incredible dedication.
It really is.
Yeah.
And even when Rama gave him truly difficult, painful orders, like leaving Sita in the forest or building her fire ordeal, Pyre Laxman just did it. Unquestioning obedience, even through immense personal suffering.
And that spirit of service, that continues in other appearances.
Definitely. Fast forward about 500 years ago, he appeared as Nityananda Prabhu. He was with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Their mission was spreading divine mercy, especially reaching out to those considered most fallen, like Jagai and Madhai. Nityananda Prabhu took abuse, insults, even physical attack, all just to follow his guru Chaitanya's mission of giving out the holy name. Real selflessness, accepting humiliation for that higher purpose.
So the big picture here is, he's the Supreme Lord, same as Krishna essentially, but he consistently chooses the role of servant.
That's the core insight, yes. Balarama, though supreme, uniquely takes the servitor position in all 5 rasas, or spiritual relationships. Neutrality, service, friendship, parental feelings, even conjugal love through Ananga Manjari, who is Radharani's younger sister. He's the foundation of the spiritual world, providing everything for Krishna, the crown, flute, shoes, clothes, ornaments, everything to make Krishna more attractive and help his pastimes flow. It's his constant mood of service. Even though he's the source of all other incarnations, it tells you something profound about divine love, that real greatness is found in service.
That's a really powerful idea, flipping our usual notions of power, which brings us to his role as the original spiritual master. His name, Balarama. Bala means strength, Rama means pleasure. What kind of strength are we talking about?
Good question. Bala is strength, Rama is pleasure. But the sources are clear. Bala is spiritual strength, not just muscles or physical power. There's a verse in the Upanishads, ancient texts, Nayam Atma Balahinana Labhya. It means you can't achieve self-realization without spiritual strength. Sometimes people misunderstand that, think it means physical strength is needed for enlightenment. But the real point is inner strength, spiritual fortitude.
And that spiritual strength sounds crucial for anyone trying to make spiritual progress. How do we actually get it? What's the guru's role?
Exactly. Balarama is the original guru, the source of that spiritual power. The guru you connect with in this world is his representative, basically channeling that strength. So you receive that strength and you advance spiritually, mainly through the guru's mercy, their kindness.
How do you get that mercy?
By pleasing the guru, by following their instructions, serving them sincerely, and praying for their help, their guidance. When you pray to your guru or to Nityananda Prabhu or Balarama directly, you're essentially tapping into that divine source of strength and mercy.
So the guru provides the strength. What about Balarama's plow? Krishna has his flute that attracts everyone, but Balarama has this plow. What's the symbolism there?
Right, the plow is key. It prepares the field of your heart. It makes the heart soft, receptive, ready for the seed of devotion, which you could say is the sweet sound of Krishna's flute. The plow also clears away obstacles on the spiritual path. Weeds, rocks, that kind of thing.
So Balarama prepares the ground.
Exactly. Krishna calls and charms with the flute, but Balarama does the essential prep work, making you ready to hear that call properly. And this preparation involves humility, surrendering to the guru's guidance.
Which connects to this idea of overintelligence that the sources warn about. How does that get in the way if someone is trying to serve?
Overintelligence,
I don't
that's a
know.
really important point. It's basically when a disciple thinks they know better than the guru, they act on what they think is best instead of just following the instruction they were given. The sources give some really clear examples. Like say the guru asks for a glass of water, but the disciple thinks, oh, milk is much better, more nourishing, and brings milk instead. The guru might even say, well, milk might be better, but I asked for water. The intention was good, maybe, but the action was disobedience. It wasn't actually service in that moment.
So good intentions aren't enough if they override the guru's actual instruction. Are there historical examples of this?
Oh, definitely. The sources mention the LA temple. Prabhupada, the founder Acharya, specifically wanted a room with pews and stained glass kept as it was, to make newcomers feel comfortable, you see.
Okay.
But some disciples, putting in huge effort and expense, turned it into a very traditional Indian-style temple room marble onyx, very beautiful. But Prabhupada was not pleased at all. He asked, why did you do this? I told you not to.
Wow. Even though they worked hard and made it beautiful.
Yes, the effort was immense, but it was against his wish, so it wasn't pleasing service. Another big one was acquiring the land for the Juhu temple in Mumbai. Prabhupada gave clear instructions to sign some papers. But the disciples listened to someone else, a Mr. Nair, and didn't sign as instructed. Prabhupada was extremely displeased.
That must have been difficult.
Immensely. Or the Detroit Fisher Mansion. An amazing building Prabhupada wanted. The disciples hesitated, worrying the neighborhood was unsafe. They almost backed out. Prabhupada's reaction was really strong. If you don't get that building, what is the use of going on Krishna conscious?
That's intense.
It shows how crucial simple obedience is. A first-class disciple tries to understand the guru's heart, their subtle desires maybe, but ultimately follows direct instructions. That's where the real spiritual strength comes from, humility and following, not thinking you know better.
That ties right into what Srila Prabhupada said. Your love for me will be shown by how much you cooperate with each other. What's the lesson there about cooperation?
That's such a powerful statement. Cooperation. It means working together, cooperate, right? For the pleasure of the guru and Krishna. Without envy or competition, think about the body. The hand can't enjoy food by itself. It has to give it to the stomach. When the stomach is nourished, the whole body, including the hand, benefits.
Right. The parts serve the whole.
Exactly. If parts try to work independently, they just suffer. If they cooperate to serve the center, the stomach, everyone thrives. The sources point to how the families of Vasudeva and Devaki and Nanda and Yasoda cooperated to raise Krishna and Balarama. Balarama, in his form as Sankarsana, actually unites people and families in service to Krishna. So unity and service is the real sign of love and strength.
That's a beautiful way to put it. Okay, let's shift to some of Lord Balarama's pastimes, his lilas. His appearance story is pretty unique, isn't it?
Well, it's quite miraculous. He was first conceived in Devaki's womb, destined to be her 7th child. But Kamsa, her brother, was killing all her babies. So Lord Krishna arranged for Yogamaya, his divine energy, to transfer Balarama from Devaki's womb to the womb of Rohini. She was another wife of Vasudeva, living safely with Nanda Maharaja in Gokula.
A divine transfer. Why?
Well, the sources explain it purified Devaki's womb. She had carried 6 demons before, who had Kamsa killed. This transfer, plus her constant fear of Kamsa, actually sanctified her, preparing her womb for Krishna himself to appear later. When the sage Gargamuni came later, he secretly named the child Rama, for giving happiness, Bala, for his amazing strength, and Sankarsana, because he united the two families, Vasudevas and Nandas.
So even his birth involved uniting people and bringing joy. What about his childhood with Krishna in Vrindavan? Sounds like they were quite the pair.
Absolutely inseparable. Just delightful stories of them crawling together, playfully pulling calves' tails. The gopis loved watching them. They'd imitate animals in the forest, jump like frogs, climb like monkeys. Krishna would mimic a peacock, and his friends would applaud.
Huh?
It's even said that when Krishna got tired playing, Balarama would lie down, and Krishna would use him as a pillow. Just pure, innocent, divine childhood fun, showing their deep bond.
And wasn't Balarama involved in that famous eating dirt pastime?
He was. He and the other cowherd boys went and told Mother Yasoda that Krishna was eating dirt. That's what led her to look inside Krishna's mouth and see the entire universe.
Right. And their roles also tied into the whole Vrindavan economy, didn't they?
Yes, interestingly. Krishna's flute would call the cows representing cow protection. Balarama's plow represented agriculture. So together they symbolized this sustainable, harmonious life based on land and cows. Self-sufficiency. They even looked after the young calves, which taught humility and service even to the wealthiest family's sons.
Moving beyond the playful side, Balarama also dealt with demons. And these stories seem to have deeper meanings.
They definitely do. Take Dhenukasura. He was an ass demon guarding the Talavana forest, keeping the cowherd boys from the tasty fruits there. Balarama just picked them up, swung them around, and threw them into a treetop, killing him and his donkey friends.
So what's the lesson there?
The interpretation is that Balarama, representing the guru, kills that stubborn ass-like quality within us, that tendency to think, this is mine, I should enjoy it, that selfish possessiveness that blocks spiritual progress. He removes that obstacle.
Hmm.
Then there was Pralambasura, a demon disguised as a cowherd boy, planning to kill them both. During a game where they carried each other on their shoulders, Balarama simply became incredibly heavy and crushed Pralambasura.
Just pure power when needed. And as adults, Balarama continued these displays of immense strength.
Oh, yes. Some very famous incidents, like the time he wanted to play in the Yamuna River, but the river goddess didn't come immediately when he called. So Balarama took out his plow and literally started dragging the river towards him. The goddess Yamuna had to personally appear and apologize profusely.
He dragged a river.
Wow, shows his incredible power. Another time, he went to free Krishna's son, Shamba, who Duryodhana had imprisoned after Shamba tried to kidnap Duryodhana's daughter. Balarama basically threatened to hook Hastinapura, the whole city, with his plow and drag it into the Ganga River. The Kauravas immediately gave in, released Shamba, and approved the marriage. He's very protective.
Very protective. But then, during the huge Mahabharata war, he stayed neutral, went on pilgrimage instead.
Oh.
That seems complex.
It is. He had affection for Duryodhana, who had actually been his student in mace fighting, and obviously he wouldn't fight against Krishna. So his solution was to go on pilgrimage. He returned only after the war was over. It looks like a contradiction maybe, but ultimately it's seen as part of the Lord's bigger plan, his Lila, fulfilling a specific purpose within the divine drama.
Okay, I see. And then there's that very intense story about him killing the sage Romaharshana. That seems quite severe.
It does. It's a very serious incident. Balarama was on pilgrimage and arrived where Romaharshana was giving a lecture on the Bhagavatam. Everyone stood up to greet Balarama, recognizing his divinity, except Romaharshana. He was puffed up by his position as the speaker and didn't offer respects, maybe thinking Balarama was just another listener.
Uh-oh.
Balarama was furious at this disrespect. He took a simple blade of kusha grass and, with his divine power, killed Romaharshana on the spot.
With a blade of grass?
Yes, the lesson is stark. Disrespecting a divine personality, especially someone representing the guru principle like Balarama, is incredibly serious. Even a seemingly small neglect of etiquette towards such a person can have massive spiritual consequences. It really emphasizes the sanctity of respect to the guru and divine figures.
That's a sobering reminder. Wow, what a range of pastimes, each with layers of meaning. Let's connect this back to the path of devotion. The sources talk about the need for constant internal prayer. What does that really mean?
It means it's not just something you do for 5 minutes a day. It's an ongoing internal conversation, really. A constant state of awareness of your dependence on divine mercy. You're praying for strength, for protection from falling away from the path. Srila Prabhupada himself prayed like this daily, please protect me so I don't fall down. Because, as conditioned souls, we can't fully trust our own minds or senses. They can lead us astray. So you maintain this internal plea for help.
And Krishna responds to that.
Always, in some way.
Oh,
Maybe directly, maybe by sending help through another person, maybe by giving you a new understanding or insight when you need it. Sincere prayer is always heard.
So if you have this constant connection, this reliance on Krishna, does that mean a devotee becomes fearless of, say, material danger?
Largely, yes. The core idea is that a devotee identifies as Krishna's servant, not as the temporary physical body. So material dangers, things that threaten the body, lose their ultimate sting. They're under Krishna's protection. There's that famous analogy Prabhupada used during the India-Pakistan war. A reporter asked him, what if a bomb falls on meditating devotees?
Yeah. What did he say?
He said, basically, a Krishna-conscious person isn't afraid of a bomb. When they see it coming, they think, Krishna is coming. They see Krishna's hand. Even in what looks like a disaster, it's a complete shift in perspective.
That's quite a perspective shift. So if they aren't afraid of physical danger, what do they fear? Is there anything?
Oh, yes. The one thing a devotee genuinely fears is forgetting Krishna, being caught by Maya, the illusion. That's the real danger. They're constantly vigilant against that forgetfulness. And closely related to that is the fear of committing offenses, especially Vaisnava aparada offenses against other devotees,
Why is that feared so much?
because it's seen as the fastest way to lose your spiritual consciousness, to get knocked off the path. Offending devotees harms the very fabric of the spiritual community and displeases Krishna directly. So that's the real fear, losing connection, losing consciousness.
This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive. We've really covered a lot about Lord Balarama.
We have, from his core identity as Krishna's first expansion, the cosmic power holding things together.
Right, and his appearances as the ultimate servant, like Laxman and Nityananda Prabhu, that service mood is so central.
Absolutely. And his role as the original guru, the source of that vital spiritual strength, Bala, using his plow to prepare our hearts, clear the obstacles.
And those vivid lessons from the pastimes about cooperation being key, avoiding that over-intelligence trap.
The importance of simple obedience to the guru.
And the Lilas themselves, the unique birth, the childhood fun, the demon slaying, the displays of power like dragging the Yamuna.
And even the difficult ones, like the Romaharshana incident, teaching vital lessons about respect.
It all culminates in understanding the devotee's path, that constant prayer, the fearlessness that comes from shelter, and the real fear being forgetfulness or offense.
Exactly. It paints a full picture of his significance.
So to leave you with something to think about.
Consider this. Balarama is the origin of all strength, immense power. Yet his primary mood is service. What does this apparent paradox, supreme power, combined with ultimate submission, tell us about what true greatness really means? And how can we in our own lives try to cultivate that kind of spirit, powerful, capable, yet fundamentally humble and dedicated to service? Something to reflect on.